Here's a hypothetical story about Greg from the Bronx. The grind in the Grand Concourse. Greg O'Malley wasn't born with a silver spoon. He was born in a fourth-floor walk-up off the Grand Concourse in the Bronx. For 72 years, his life had been a masterclass in the unglamorous struggle. His hands, gnarled and thick-knuckled, told the story of a lifetime spent working. He was a union electrician, a good one, but the work was boom and bust. He raised 2 kids on macaroni and government cheese, always sacrificing his own needs for theirs. Greg was a man of simple pleasures: a Yankees game on the radio, a slice of NY-style pizza from Louie and Ernie's, and the weekly ritual of buying a Powerball ticket from the same bodega near his apartment. He didn't play because he expected to win. He played for the $2 fantasy that lasted the walk home. The weight of the years as Greg entered his late 60s. The years of climbing ladders and pulling heavy cable caught up. He retired, his pension barely covering the rising rent. He relied on Social Security and the occasional handyman gig to keep the lights on and help his grown children, who were now struggling themselves in an ever more expensive city. His wife Maria, the fiery, loving center of his world, passed away 5 years ago, leaving a hole in his chest he'd never managed to patch. The days were long now, filled with watching reruns and feeding the pigeons in Claremont Park. His life had been one of integrity and hard work, but the simple, painful truth was that he was just scraping by right up to the end. He was tired, bone-deep tired, and the specter of serious illness was starting to whisper in the quiet corners of his mind. The $2 miracle on a cold Tuesday in late November. Greg shuffled into Junior's Deli for his usual ticket. He used his usual numbers, a mashup of birthdays and Maria's favorite date, July 4th. He tucked the slip into the worn leather wallet he'd carried since the Reagan administration. 2 days later, he was sitting at his kitchen table sipping instant coffee, while the local news anchor delivered the Powerball numbers. He wasn't even really paying attention until the numbers registered, $174 million. He pulled out the ticket, his hands shaking so badly he had to pin it against the table. Every single number matched. At first, he thought it was a cruel joke of his deteriorating vision. He fumbled for his reading glasses. He checked again, then again. A slow, agonizing warmth spread through his chest, not of joy, but of a profound, disorienting relief. The sunset Greg didn't buy a yacht or a mansion. He cashed the ticket, took the lump sum, and the first thing he did was pay off the mortgages for both of his kids, securing their families' futures with a single stroke of the pen. He established a modest anonymous scholarship fund at the Bronx Community College. He moved out of the old walk-up into a small area apartment with an elevator and a view of the Hudson River. He didn't live long, just another 18 months. But those 18 months were the best